In a quiet village near Ibadan, Nigeria, Adeobi was respected for her loyalty, kindness, and gentle spirit. At 37 years old, she still lived in her late father's small compound surrounded by cassava farms and palm trees. Life had not been easy since her father died, but she remained hopeful because of Chinedu, the man she loved deeply. Chinedu was charming, ambitious, and full of promises. Every evening, he sat beneath the large mango tree beside Adeobi's house, speaking about his dreams of becoming successful in Lagos. He promised to return wealthy, marry her properly, and build the family they always imagined together. One afternoon, Chinedu arrived looking troubled and exhausted. He explained that a business opportunity awaited him in Lagos, but he needed money for transportation, accommodation, and startup expenses. Tears filled his eyes while he begged Adeobi not to let the opportunity disappear. That night, Adeobi could not sleep. Her late father had left behind a valuable piece of land, the only inheritance protecting her future. Selling it would mean sacrificing everything her father worked for. Yet she believed true love demanded sacrifice. The following morning, Adeobi sold the land cheaply to a wealthy farmer in the village. With trembling hands, she handed every naira to Chinedu. He hugged her tightly beneath the mango tree. "I promise," he whispered emotionally, "I will return for you." Days later, Chinedu boarded a crowded bus heading toward Lagos. At first, he called often. Then the calls reduced. Eventually, they stopped completely. Still, Adeobi waited faithfully every evening, believing the man she loved would someday return home again. Months passed slowly in the quiet village, and Adeobi's hope faded like smoke disappearing into the evening sky. Every morning, she walked toward the roadside expecting Chinedu's return, but the buses arrived carrying only strangers. Neighbors whispered behind her back, mocking her loyalty and calling her foolish for trusting a man who abandoned her completely. Despite the humiliation, Adeobi defended him constantly. She convinced herself Chinedu was busy building their future in Lagos and would eventually return. She believed love demanded patience and understanding. One hot afternoon, Adeobi visited the crowded village market to sell vegetables when she overheard two women discussing a wealthy businessman preparing for a luxurious wedding in Lagos. "His name is Chinedu," one woman said excitedly. "They say he owns expensive cars and a massive mansion now." Adeobi froze immediately. The second woman laughed loudly. "He is marrying the daughter of an important politician next month." The basket slipped from Adeobi's hands. Tomatoes scattered across the dusty ground while villagers stared silently at her heartbreak. That evening, Adeobi cried beside her father's empty farmland, remembering every promise Chinedu made beneath the mango tree. Gradually, heartbreak transformed into determination. Adeobi decided she needed answers. Using money saved from years of farming, she traveled to Lagos carrying only a small bag and an old photograph of Chinedu hidden carefully inside her wrapper. The city overwhelmed her immediately. Tall buildings, endless traffic, and noisy crowds surrounded her everywhere. While searching desperately for information, she unexpectedly met Ngozi, an old school friend working as a cleaner inside Chinedu's estate. After hearing Adeobi's story, Ngozi whispered nervously, "People fear Chinedu. His riches appeared after dangerous rituals began." Ngozi secretly arranged temporary work for Adeobi inside Chinedu's luxurious estate. To avoid recognition, Adeobi disguised herself as a security guard by wearing oversized uniforms, dark sunglasses, and a cap pulled low across her face. Every morning, she stood quietly beside the mansion gates while expensive vehicles moved endlessly through the compound. The estate shocked her deeply. Golden chandeliers hung from the ceilings, luxury cars filled the garage, and servants rushed through marble hallways carrying decorations for the upcoming wedding ceremony. Chinedu now lived like royalty. Yet something inside the mansion felt terribly wrong. Every night after midnight, mysterious visitors dressed entirely in black arrived secretly. They entered a hidden underground chamber beneath the mansion while armed guards blocked every entrance. Frightened servants avoided certain hallways and whispered prayers whenever Chinedu passed nearby. One evening, Adeobi overheard two guards speaking quietly. The last woman disappeared after the ritual failed, one whispered fearfully. "Keep your voice down," the second replied nervously. "If Chinedu hears you, we are finished." Fear crawled through Adeobi's body immediately. Later that night, she followed Chinedu secretly through the mansion. Hidden behind a curtain, she watched him enter a candlelit underground chamber decorated with strange symbols and animal skulls. An elderly native doctor stood beside a large calabash filled with blood. "The bride must complete the sacrifice," the native doctor warned. "Only then will your wealth remain protected permanently." Adeobi covered her mouth in horror. The wedding was not about love. Chinedu intended sacrificing his bride to protect his riches. As Adeobi stepped backward quietly, her foot accidentally struck a metal object. The loud sound echoed across the chamber. Chinedu turned sharply. "Who is there?" he shouted angrily. After escaping the underground chamber, Adeobi hid inside Ngozi's small apartment trembling with fear. She finally understood why Chinedu's wealth appeared suddenly and why servants whispered prayers whenever he walked nearby. The upcoming wedding was not a celebration of love. It was a sacrifice. Ngozi begged Adeobi to leave Lagos immediately. "You already know the truth," Ngozi warned seriously. "Powerful people protect Chinedu. If you stay here, he will kill you." But Adeobi refused completely. She could not allow another innocent woman to die. The following morning, Adeobi discovered the bride-to-be was named Amora, a kind university graduate from a wealthy family. Chinedu constantly appeared beside her in newspapers and television interviews, pretending to be a successful businessman preparing for marriage. Adeobi knew nobody would believe her accusations without evidence. Determined to expose him publicly, she secretly entered the underground chamber again while preparations for the wedding continued upstairs. Using Ngozi's small phone, Adeobi recorded videos of the blood-filled calabash, strange symbols, and hidden ritual objects buried beneath the floor. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Chinedu entered the chamber unexpectedly. For several terrifying moments, Adeobi hid silently beneath a wooden table while Chinedu spoke angrily with the native doctor. "The sacrifice must happen tomorrow night," Chinedu said coldly. "Nothing can stop this wedding." After they finally left, Adeobi escaped carefully with the evidence hidden beneath her clothes. On the wedding day, expensive guests filled the massive church while musicians performed joyfully outside. Chinedu stood proudly beside Amora pretending to be the perfect groom. Just as the priest prepared to continue the ceremony, the church doors burst open suddenly. "Stop this wedding immediately!" Adeobi shouted loudly. The church erupted into confusion immediately after Adeobi interrupted the wedding ceremony. Guests stood from their seats shouting questions while reporters rushed forward holding cameras above their heads. Chinedu's confident smile disappeared instantly. "You are lying," he shouted furiously. Adeobi stepped forward bravely despite her trembling hands. "I sold my father's land so this man could build a future," she cried emotionally. Instead, he used dangerous rituals and planned sacrificing another innocent woman. Amora stared at Chinedu with disbelief and fear. "What is she talking about?" she whispered nervously. Before Chinedu could answer, Adeobi displayed the videos recorded inside the underground chamber. The church projector revealed terrifying images of skulls, hidden symbols, and blood-covered ritual objects. The congregation gasped loudly. Suddenly, several servants from the mansion stepped forward and confessed publicly. They described missing workers, strange midnight ceremonies, and frightening sacrifices hidden beneath the estate. The native doctor attempted escaping through the back entrance, but police officers already surrounded the church after Ngozi secretly contacted authorities earlier that morning. Within minutes, Chinedu was arrested before shocked wedding guests and television reporters. As officers led him away in handcuffs, he glared bitterly at Adeobi. "You destroyed everything," he hissed angrily. Adeobi looked calmly into his eyes. "No, she replied quietly. You destroyed yourself. Weeks later, police uncovered human remains beneath Chinedu's mansion, confirming every terrible secret. Amora thanked Adeobi tearfully for saving her life. Although Adeobi never recovered her father's land, she returned home stronger and wiser. The villagers who once mocked her now respected her courage. Beneath the same mango tree where promises once lived, Adeobi finally discovered peace again forever.